I'm Brooke. Welcome to Four Seasons Ranch. This is Sully. Right now he's being a toddler, trying to tell everybody what to do. Here, our main business is boarding. We board 24 horses at the moment. Everybody ranging from ages of 30 to 10 months currently.
Well, how old is Sully
5.
here? Okay, 5.
He's 5. He's a baby, but he does a lot of lessons and he's learning. He's more of a cow pony, so he likes to play with the cows. He likes to do different things all the time, so he's one that tends to get bored when standing idly, which is why he plays with everything. This is Nova. Nova's a good girl. She does some lessons as well. She rides both English and Western, so she's an all-around pony. Hi, Whiskey. Whiskey is a thoroughbred. He's a big baby. He's nursing an abscess right now, so he's a little more of a baby than normal. What else can I tell you? So we do riding lessons here at the barn.
They're all acting up now.
He's literally playing with stuff just to get attention. He's ready. They're almost ready for dinner. So right now everybody's a little antsy and looking for something to get into. So we do riding lessons. We have riding lessons. We have kids all the way from 5 to 25 that take different riding lessons, and we've had even older. We've had people in their 60s coming out for lessons. And we've got horses of all statures as well as all modes. So some are slow, some are fast, some are a little more advanced riding.
Sully wants something.
That is definitely Sully. He wants fed. He's going to try and tell everybody what to do. Dreamer's gated, which means he is a much smoother ride. They walk a little bit different than a lot of the quarter horses, our non-gated horses. So Star is one of our newest members. She came in about a month ago. She unfortunately was sold without clarification that she is a cribbing horse. So cribbing horses tend to take in air, and they do that by putting their bottom teeth, top teeth, on top of different items. So she will literally crib on anything. So we've been trying to help her with that. She does have a cribbing collar on to help that as well. Don't. And she listens fairly well if you're near her when she's getting ready to do it. Clapping stops her. Don't. But she's really our first cribbing horse that we've had in the barn. So we're learning with her and gaining a lot of information from other people to try and make sure that we're doing the right things for her to make sure that she can prosper, because obviously we want her to gain weight. We want her to be a happy, healthy horse. So
is there a way to stop it?
There's a lot of different ideas of how to stop it, and every horse is different. So there's a lot of different techniques, and a lot of it is like we're clapping to interrupt that process. And unfortunately, that's going to take a long time of us being out here to redirect that behavior to get it to stop. And we're all about here reaching out to other owners and horse people to try different techniques. We don't know everything. No one does. So we try and get as much information and try different things with our horses to make sure we're giving them the best chance.
Now, is this damage result from Star or on the wood?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
Just in the last month?
No, some of that may have been here before, but yeah, it's gotten a lot worse as she's been in this stall. But she'll do it anywhere, so whether she's in the stall or she's out in the field, she'll do it in the regular fields as well. She'll walk up to the posts. She used to try and grab onto the white wire, took her about 10 times before she realized that bites back. So that kind of helped. There are different techniques where people say that you can use shock therapy to stop that. Not sure that I'm a fan of that yet. So we're obviously trying least restrictive methods first. So Piper does some showing in some Western pleasure. She is also our resident dirty girl. She definitely loves the mud. You wouldn't know that she's a prim and proper horse because when she gets out into those fields, she thinks that she is a wild Mustang and needs full mud coverage.
So she's like a pig.
She is. She's a little pig head. This is Kip. Kip does Western pleasure as well. He's a young guy. I think Kip is 8.
He's a little dirty too.
He is also a dirty boy. He's also he's a naughty boy. He likes to play games with the other horses. So he's hi Casey. Casey is a halflinger. She is one of our first residents when we opened. She is very sweet. Aren't you? She loves attention and she's super cute. She's my Barbie horse. Hi, Rascal.
Oh, I know.
So Rascal, Kip, Chloe, and Zoe are all owned by the same person. Fun fact, Chloe was actually born on this ranch 25 years ago. So she actually started her life here and obviously went to different places with her owner as she grew, but it's amazing to see that she's kind of came back to this place. So, and this is our youngest horse. This is Zoe. Zoe's about 10 months old. She's learning how to be a big girl. She's a very tall little girl. So the back side of the barn, everything is gated off. So once we shut the barn doors, nobody can escape from any of the fields in our back. So that just keeps everybody contained and safe. And we don't have any concerns at that point. So all of our fences, we use ram fencing. So when we got this place, it was a foreclosure. So all of our fencing was falling down. All of the fields were up to your hips. It was difficult. So we went and we started from ground zero, mowed everything down, and then we put up all brand new fencing. Ram fencing is a coated wire. So it has a center core, which is electrified. But it's a lot safer for the horses so they don't get wrapped in it like they would the regular metal high tensile fencing. We also installed all automatic waterers. They're auto waterers as well as heated so that even in the winter you don't have to go and break up ice and make sure that, everybody has water. Those of you who do any farming know that winter is the worst and breaking up water is awful. So this was our kind of safe haven for us and safety-wise for the horses that they're always taken care of. And we actually just had this back fence redone. My husband and I did it the first time, and well...
What happened?
Unfortunately, we dug posts, and this ground is extremely rocky. So you couldn't go as deep as you needed to. So we had somebody come in and we pulled out all of our board fencing and they pounded all these posts. So now the posts are 3 feet in the ground and solid, where before we did concrete to try and keep everything in, and it was amazing to see it all literally pull out like it was nothing. So luckily these are our old folks. So this field is always used for our older folks or special needs horses. So we keep anybody that has issues, whether it's Cushing's, Cookie out there, she's perfectly healthy, but she's 30 years old. So it's important for her, one, that we have eyes on her every day. We can see how she's moving. These guys stay out a lot more often than the other horses. The other horses are brought in and out every day. So they come in for about 6 to 8 hours and they're out the rest of the time. These guys spend a lot more time outside because as you age, as the horses get older and they get arthritis and different issues, it's a lot better for them to be able to move around a lot more, be out and about, moving as much as possible. When they have to stand for long periods of time, they get really achy, kind of like we do as we age. So this is a better situation for them. And this field is always kind of low grass, so a lot of your older horses, especially with Cushing's, they can't have a lot of green grass. They can get sick from it, the higher sugar content. So they get round bales all year long out here, and then they find the grass as it sprouts and they take it down. So it's a lot better field for your older folks and your special needs guys. And you can see over here we have this gated off. So when I bring horses into my facility, we always do a quarantine, no matter where they come from. So all of our horses are fully vetted prior to coming. We require a Coggins before entering our doors. We require your vaccination records. However, we still do at least a 2-week quarantine for our horses. And that's so we can get used to them, they can get used to us. So we start and we panel it off so that the other horses can't make nose-to-nose contact. Everything is done over there for those horses until they join our regular herd. So after about 2 weeks, we take down the gates and these horses will start to learn the routine of running in and out of the barn by themselves. Just how we do business, and we're leading them and whatnot just to get comfortable before they run in herds. Our horses are split into 3 herds, the older folks, and then we have a mare field and a gelding field. And then we do rotational grazing out in the main fields. So we'll move them usually on a monthly basis, but really it depends on the grass. We monitor how high the grass has grown, what they have left for good forage. If it gets down quicker than that, then we'll move them to a new field ahead of time. So we have 8 fields out there that we rotationally graze. And as we come into winter they get 1 field. So we lock our horses down into 1 field and we'll field round bales all winter long. And that allows the other fields through the winter to rest. But we also will do some cattle grazing in those fields during that time. With the cattle, they eat down the weeds. They don't care. Horses are picky, cattle don't care. They kind of go through and they'll take down the stuff that the horses didn't touch all summer long. And they fertilize the field. And I'll show you, we have 2 fields that we maintain for our cattle, and the one field looks amazing because the cattle do such a good job of fertilizing their own fields and keeping the weeds down, that you don't have as many issues. Where the horses avoid the weeds altogether, they'll eat around it. If they poop in certain areas, they won't eat that grass around it. So they leave a lot where the cattle will come in and take it all down and refresh your fields for you. And it's just a natural way that we can do it that causes or allows us to be a little more self-sufficient without having to shut down and till up fields and go through all of that all the time. So just kind of a...
So I see that we got a smaller horse out there.
So that's Nuggy. Nuggy is a pony. He is in his late teens.
We can't see it in the camera, so.
Oh. Well, we'll get Nuggy to come up here in a little bit. That way you can take a good look at him. He actually joined us on New Year's Day. He was quite underweight when we got him. He's starting to build that back up. So he's just started lessons last week. And he is an absolute dream for a young child to learn to ride on, where you can actually ride independently and have a little less fear of that height difference for your big horses. If you see Daze, he's over here eating. Daze is blind. He's pretty much completely blind at this point. When we first got him, we rescued him. His original owners were going to put him down because he was losing his vision. So with that, we went ahead and we agreed to take him on. And he's done phenomenally here. Originally, he was able to move fields because he could see some shadows and such. Now we've kind of locked him down into this field with this herd. And he gets a seeing eye person when he comes in just to help him get from place to place without getting too scared. Because when they're blind, they do enhance other senses. So the wind, the loud noises, it'll catch him a little quicker than it catches the other ones. But he's pretty impressive to watch because he moves in such a way that he's always testing the ground under his feet and using his nose to get depth. So when he comes in by himself, he'll test the doorway to find out if he's where he needs to be. And he'll move really slow, and if he touches it, he backs up and he tries again. It's pretty interesting to watch, and it teaches the kids a lot out here that, you know, how you overcome different disabilities or issues that you may have. So we use him a lot, especially with our therapy kids, to just show what you can do no matter what your disability might be. So this is our indoor arena. It's a smaller indoor, but it works great for our winter time. Always being able to move their horses and have a safe, dry place out of the wind and the rain to work your horse throughout the winter months and the summer as needed. You can kind of see in the arena that it looks like it's wet. So we use mag on our arena. This keeps down the dust and allows you not to have to put water in your sand all the time. So normally a sand arena would need to be watered to keep down that dust. The mag does it itself. It actually pulls the moisture out of the air and into it to keep that dust at a ground level. So.
Dumb question. What is mag?
I want to say it's magnesium chloride, and it's kind of like salt.
Okay.
It's kind of like a salt. We get it from the feed store. They carry it for us. Sometimes it's hard to get in because it's not always readily available. So we try and put in our orders ahead of time just to keep this as nice as possible. And you can get away, depending on how much the arena's used, you can get away with almost a 6-month basis of redoing the mag. But we do put about 6 to 8 bags of mag down at a time to coat it nice to keep that moisture in the sand, keep it working.
Well, I'm seeing in the rafters you're getting a little low. That's where all the hay goes.
Yeah, so obviously this is the time of year. We're almost into hay season now, so we'll replenish after that. We're looking at some different options for hay this year. So we've used square bales. We made our own hay last year, and that's what we were planning on this year. But we had some issues with our leaser, so he tried to triple the price of the lease this year, which unfortunately for us, that makes it more than just buying hay. So when it's all said and done.
Right.
Because those of you that don't know, when you make your own hay, you've got to fertilize, you've got to reseed, you do everything. There's a lot of money just to getting going with your hay fields if you want them to be good. So our hay last year came in at 11.5% protein for our own fields, so which was really good. That's where we want it to be for the horses. It actually came out better than we expected for our first year of making hay. Hay for horses is hard because it needs to be of a certain quality. You want at least 10 to 12% protein for your hay. You want to make sure that it's weed free. You want to make sure that it was made at the right time. You can't have it overgrown. Horses are a lot more delicate than cattle. Cattle and goats, truthfully, you can feed almost anything and they're good to go. They're happy. Horses are much more delicate. They're the most sensitive big animal I've ever met in my life. Sometimes it's a little off-putting because you would think that, you know, they came from the wild, they should be able to survive, but I swear, like, the tiniest of bug could kill them. It's one of those things that they're just susceptible to so many things, and learning that and being a part of it, learning their behaviors. This barn is phenomenal. The girls that we have ones with veterinary experience. We have ones with years upon years of horse equine experience. So they know what they're looking for. They're always looking at the horse's behavior when they walk in. They're looking at the body condition of the horse. They're looking for any changes in that horse's outwardly appearance. And when they see something, they call it out. So it's very quick and easy for a horse to colic. And for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it's a really bad tummy ache in horses, and it can cause other things if they start to roll or overreact because of the pain. They can twist their stomachs, and it's very expensive when you call in the equine vet. It's very expensive for anything with these guys. So for us, it's really important that we catch things as early as possible. So when we feed our horses, we let them eat, we walk the barn, we check on every horse. Because it literally can happen that quickly. Within 5 minutes of them eating, we've had a horse go down. And there was nothing wrong with that horse when it came in to eat. And within 5 minutes of after it ate its food, we clearly could tell there was a problem. And in that case, it was a gas colic. We did end up calling the vet for safety. And the vet came out and they're like, definitely a gas colic. You guys caught it really early, keep walking them. So we walked the horse, they gave him some medication, and within a few hours, the horse was back to safe. So we try really hard to pay attention to all of our animals, to make sure that they are safe, they are healthy. That's probably my number one. You know, you don't always have the absolute best of everything, but you know your horse is well taken care of, you know they're safe. That to me is the most important thing of anything when you're running an equestrian business or any animal business. Their well-being and safety has to be top priority. So I know we talked about getting this place and how it kind of came to be. This place was not even on our radar 5 years ago. We were looking for a new home in this area. We were looking for low maintenance, wooded, and then one morning my husband showed me the listing for this place. And I would love to show you pictures of what it looked like in the listing. This whole floor was covered in water. It was orange because there was a leak in the bathroom.
And the water is very hard here. Is it very hard, or is it just there's some kind of mineral content?
It's high iron. It's really high iron. There was no footing in the outdoor arena. There was grass. When we first saw the place, it was in like February, so it didn't look too bad. I mean, there was snow. It was still very weedy. The grass was high just from where it was left from the fall. I looked at my husband and I said, "You're nuts. This isn't something that we can undertake. Like, this is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of stuff. We have no idea what we're doing." And he showed me a few more times. By the end of the afternoon, for some reason, I turned around and I said, "You know what? Let's just go see it. Let's go see what happens." So we drove from, at the time, Chambersburg. And we drove all the way up here. It was about an hour and a half. Got here, and again, there was a lot not to like. None of the fencing was in order. There was no fencing that was safe for any animal. The buildings were all just sad. Not that they were unusable, they were just sad and unkept. Like I said, in here it was, I'm sure I have pictures of just how bad it was. There were old cabinets that were falling off the walls. There was definitely mold growing in places. It was just bad. The house wasn't much better. The house was all shag carpet, smelled of water damage or mildew. But then there were all these buildings, and they were beautiful bones to these buildings. This barn, as you walk through, the wood in this barn is unimaginable. There's nowhere that you can find wood like this nowadays. This is something that was built with love. As we found out, so all of that being said, we put in a really low offer. We had no idea whether we'd get this place. We didn't even know if it was worth getting this place. We ended up being accepted. We ended up buying this place and holding on to another home for several months. So again, all of this kind of coincided, but when we moved in, the grass, no exaggeration, was definitely up to my hip. I spent the first 24 hours that I was here with my weed eater, weed eating all the grass around the pavilion and around our camper, because we had to live in our camper for 6 months when we moved here. So, because the house was not inhabitable, it had to be redone. All the water lines had to be redone. So we spent a lot of time in a camper with 2 kids, 2 dogs, 1 cat, and a partridge in a pear tree, it felt like. So, you know, once we got here, though, we started to make friends. And we actually came in contact. One of the first people we met that came down, this place really does bring people to it. So one of the first people that introduced themselves to us was the original owner's granddaughter, who owned this property when it was being built. And she told us the stories behind this farm and what it had been through and what kind of horses were raised here back in history. And she let us know that all this wood that's in this barn was actually sourced off of Dan's Mountain. It was sawmilled on this property. He did all the work by hand right here. So it's pretty impressive, and it's just, the history of this place is amazing. And so she last year, or this year, gave us this saddle, which actually is older than, I would say it's over 60 years old. It may be over or close to 100 years old. And it was her grandfather's saddle. So she wanted it to be somewhere that it could be seen again. No one's gonna ride in it. I don't think I'd want to. It would not comfort here, but I think it's the coolest thing to see the history of the equestrian world and this farm and what it has been, because it has literally done its flips and turns from being a Arabian breeding facility to a basic boarding facility. It was a kids camp. Used to have climbing walls and zip lines and basketball courts. It still has the basketball court.
There's a pool.
And it had pools. It had 2 pools.
Okay.
Only one of those is usable, and it's got some work to be done, but it's still working. So it was just the coolest thing, and I've worked really hard over the last 2 years to get tons of information from all of the old owners of this place, to send me pictures and old videos, anything that they can get me to show me with the history. Because again, my dream is to continue its legacy and not allow it to go where it was from the owner prior to us. This place is too beautiful not to share with the community and the horse world. Eventually we want to see we want to continue to grow our lesson program. We want to continue to grow Four Legs for Healing and really bring the community here. So we do a lot of community events, Easter egg hunts. We're going to do that next Saturday, where we want to open up some clinics and some youth camps this summer just to keep these kids having a place to grow. So our barn, we are a family. Whether you're brand new to horses or you're here forever, we really invite our boarders to be a family. So we do movie nights to get everybody together, and especially for our youth who are doing riding lessons, we like to bring those guys together so they have somebody of like mind that they can work with and grow with. Because there's nothing that'll keep you coming back to something than having someone else to do it with. So we're trying really hard to build a community of youth that really have this love and passion for the equestrian world or the agriculture world, and be able to give them a place to go and enjoy themselves, where they don't have to feel judged or have to be perfect all the time. That's not what this place is. We're here to help, we're here to guide, and it really has been a huge blessing to come into this and for me to learn a ton. I've surrounded myself with some pretty amazing equestrian world individuals who have taught me a ton. I have taken multiple online classes to help develop not only my equestrian knowledge, my business knowledge, my nonprofit knowledge, to try and be able to grow this business so that eventually I don't have to continue to work a big girl job. I can be here and we can grow even more. We can offer more to the community. So that's kind of where we're at and where we're going. Lots more projects to come as we continue to develop. We're obviously this year, we're hoping to redo our outdoor arena, work some of our fields to change out some of the grasses that are in them. But for right now, we're here and we're continuing to grow.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.